What's the craziest thing Siri's ever said? Like, what's the biggest effect Siri's ever had on this world? Like the butterfly effect.
Oh, that'd be interesting. I don't even think let's not even think butterfly effect, but like, let's say let's say it accidentally texts someone I love you or something.
That's what I was just about to say. Like a rich ass dude and his wife are like hanging out in bed, and then all of a sudden they're just talking, and then Siri's like texting Marissa.
Yeah.
And she's like, who the fuck's Marissa?
Yeah.
And that has to be the biggest effect she can possibly have.
It reads, I think, because you could say texting Marissa. It's totally fine to have someone named Marissa in your contact list, but if it's like reciting the most recent message from Marissa, and it's like, I want your dick in my pussy.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, your wife's just laying in bed with you.
Oh, it's so hot that your wife doesn't know about us, and that we're both doing this in presence of mind.
Right. The only reason it's hot is because it's
because we know
of
it's
trust.
wrong.
That's like,
yeah,
that's got to be.
That's a case you pray for as like a divorce attorney. Just a bam, like a.
You don't see, yeah.
Open and shut.
Yeah. There's no, we were talking
Dave's
about that.
Going down.
There's no way out. You're just like, all right, what do you want? You know, it's done.
Yeah.
I cheat. You don't seem like the type of guy who would cheat.
No, I wouldn't do that.
I'm not that much of a playboy, you know?
I don't really know who is, you know? Like, I don't
people
really,
out there cheating on each other, dude.
I know, but like, they're kind of like, I don't know. In my life, it seems to be pretty vapid people are the ones doing that.
Yeah, if I'm done fucking somebody, I'm gonna tell them. Oh, welcome to the show.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, welcome. We're here.
Oh,
Follow on the subscribe, do all the stuff. Thanks for clicking through.
We didn't need to do
much
that,
love.
We're talking about
anyway.
Yeah,
You want to? All right. Play like
no.
Who's gonna? Dude, if you like, okay, it takes a lot for me to be like, I love someone.
Yeah.
And for me to like be like, I'm gonna go fuck some woman I find annoying.
Yeah, I would be
betray the woman that I'm committed to. Come on,
not gonna happen.
Come on,
not
dude.
gonna happen. I mean, it's also just like that's like the classic thing too. Is people are like, it's just too much work. But in my reality, I'm like, yeah, dude, it is. I could never. I'll be remembering, this one's over in Silver Lake, this one's up in the Valley.
Oh, you're thinking like a multiple mistress type thing?
I can only say I'm out for cigarettes for so long, Like I can only say I'm at, Target for so long. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know anyone. I don't know any person in my life who's like cheated.
Open cheater?
No. I mean, everybody knows some people who things got dicey when there was like a break type situation.
Yes, the dicey breaks.
The dicey break, that's a classic. But like, I don't know anyone who's just like, yeah, dude. None of my friends, but like, yeah, dude, I dicked down this chick last night.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell, dude? Melissa was back at the apartment. Yeah,
like
dude,
we're friends with her.
Yeah. Dude, that's your H&R Block tax person, dude. You go there every year.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a wild world, dude.
I know. I do find that bizarre. Usually the cheaters, they're not the type. They go into it. It's like, it's everything, though. It's not just like, oh, I had sex with some woman. It's usually, there's like an emotion.
Like going out to dinner and shit. I never got that, too. It's like you're just trying to have two. This is like 3 weeks ago. I burped within like 3 minutes of being on this podcast. I can't, dude. I'm not a seasoned vet broadcaster.
Yeah, dude. Just gotta move the mic away.
Vince Scully up here hitting the cough button. I'm not Tom Brenneman saying queer slurs.
Bad example.
Well, the Blue Jays are warming up. Like no, that ain't me. What do you know? What a wild week. What a wild week. What another horrific, recollection of events in the land of opportunity. So we got this,
I've got a couple takes, we gotta keep it light. We gotta keep it funny.
Keep it light.
Can we do it?
No, dude, because it's so fucking absurd. Dude, if you love the theater of the absurd, now is the time to be alive. It's just so fucking wild. It's gonna be this way till November. Like there's no one's talking about anything other than Trump, coronavirus, and I don't know when the next season of The Challenge is on. I don't fucking,
Well, I think
what are people talking about?
I think people are talking about
big two.
Kyle Rittenhouse quite a bit, dude.
Well,
I think
of course,
he's coming up.
Well, I think I count that as tied into
Trump.
Have you talked to people lately and they start having small talk with you about like the most unimportant bullshit, and you're just kind of like, are you checked in at all?
Like what type of bullshit?
I had someone call me. I think my uncle called me the other day, and he was just like, "Yeah, so he was like, you making any new recipes?" I'm like, "What?" He's a kind dude. I know he's being kind, but sometimes I'm just like, I don't know. You talk to so few people nowadays. Sometimes if you're like not out in the wild a bunch, and you're just like, this is all we're going to talk about, a tilapia fish taco recipe right now, when the country's completely economically and racially divided.
You gotta escape, dude. You can't blame your uncle for trying to escape,
dude. I know, but I'm thinking this week. I get people always say like, you gotta escape. I get that, but not over these next 2 months, dude. It's ramping up.
We talk about tacos.
I know, man.
Come on, man.
I don't know. Maybe
give your uncle
I
a
feel
break.
like I'm warping around. I'm just like spinning out of control in my head lately. That kid, dude, who shot those people.
Let's go. What's your take on
Kyle,
this kid?
Dude, you know what's crazy is I just saw him, and how many fucking white dudes like me and you know that kid? You know what I mean? Like, just know him. I know so many, like, not so many. But, how many of those kids that I like grow up with in like the suburbs and like just like weird little somebody, who had a good take on it? Dave Haas, who was a singer of the Loved Ones. He put it in a tweet like, can you imagine being a 17-year-old and occupying your time with caring about being a police officer and shooting guns and like Trump instead of pussy, drugs, alcohol,
right? Like
punk rock. Like, what a waste of the teenage years,
Pick your life, though. Choose your character. Come on.
He wanted to be David Duke Jr. apparently, or
well, yeah. When I saw this kid, here's the thing. Because I watched everything. I saw every camera angle and everything.
You can't. I haven't seen a whole lot of footage of him.
Oh, buddy.
I can't make a clear. Like, obviously he was wrong, but what I'm saying is like I don't know exactly how it happened.
I'm gonna tell you, man. There's a lot.
Yeah.
It's like...
What happened? Give me a play-by-play.
It's basically like League Pass level of footage, dude.
Yeah, it's like Sunday.
Yeah, NFL ticket, dude.
Yeah, the Eagles and the Cowboys here, and then...
It's wild. And you realize, though, when I watch this kid, there's so much wrong, but when I'm watching this video, first of all, he's a little 17-year-old, kind of like little chubby 17-year-old, kind of like a little...
It's alarming how many of these shooters are starting to look like me. You know what I mean? Like, it's very concerning how many times I've looked like this guy, He
doesn't look... This kid looked youthful. And
he looked like a baby. He was a little baby.
He was 17.
I know, but
he was a baby.
Well, I don't know. I feel like I don't want to say back in the day because it's so like fucking arbitrary to say that. But like, it's just, I don't know, man. I feel like you knew kids in high school or like grade, 8th grade. Let's just say 8th grade to senior year, right? Kids, if they were like radical kids, they were usually like just trying to be,
parkour.
Yeah, like, or not even just that, like just some karate kid or like fucking parkour kid or guy who's like trying to be like an anarchist or something like that. It's
the same mentality, just without a semi-automatic weapon.
Yeah,
the people had the sense to be like, "Hey, don't give that kid a gun."
Yeah, don't do that. Come on, man.
But all right. So this kid, he. I'm gonna be honest, dude. It sucks, but I think this kid will not be charged with much.
No. Oh my God. That's like no, dude, it's never going to happen.
He'll be charged, but he will not be convicted of, I don't think, and it sucks because you're watching it, because here's the problem. He's a bitch ass. He's a bitch ass with a gun. So the first thing that happens, it's a kind of, from what it looks like, crazy ass white dude. Yeah. Runs up on him and is throwing trash at him, right? Throwing trash and like attacking him. Yeah. Because he's crazy. Crazy, batshit, and he's going up to attack him. So I'm like, dude, now you're in a weird position. He's put in this position where he's like, I am being attacked, and I'm only being attacked because I have a gun, and I have the gun. Yeah. So I can't attack him with my hands because I have the gun. I can't set the gun down.
But here's the thing, dude, is that like kids like that are purposely putting themselves in situations like that. Like, it's an intentional move.
Dude, he did, and he had to he had to man the fuck up because he put himself in this awful situation and he had to shoot a motherfucker.
Do you think he knew? Do you think, I mean, we'll never know, but do you think he went there thinking like, I'm gonna have to blast someone? Not like, I don't know if he went there thinking I'm gonna go shoot somebody, but I think he was just like, listen, second someone starts stepping to me, I'm gonna pull the trigger. Or do you think he legitimately went there just thinking, just basically being like privileged in the sense that he's just like, well, open carry's my right, no one's gonna hurt me, no one's gonna fuck with me, and then he just goes there and then he's actually scared because he wasn't expecting people to fuck with him.
It's hard to say.
Loses cool.
It's hard to say because he does take off running. He was
scared.
He was scared, and he does take off running. So you're watching it, and you're like, "What was this kid prepared for today?"
Why are we fucking warring factions now? There's just not. I mean, it's so. This is a common theme of this podcast. It's like fucking. This generation is so extreme. There's just like no middle ground, and I don't know if that's like a good thing or a bad thing. I think there's pros and cons to both. I think the fact that like this. There's just constantly everyone like in politics, people used to pride themselves on being like in the middle, you know, like, well, I like to hear both. I gotta listen to the debate so I can see if Nixon's gonna firebomb a village in South Vietnam, or if Gerald Ford's gonna come in and, I don't know, fart out a car plant. I don't know, like. And now it's just like I'm gonna kill someone on the other side. Like I'm gonna go out and we're gonna have bloodshed.
You gotta admit,
battle
though,
of the bastards.
That's because we love it.
Yeah, people just love being,
you know, it's a little bit of drama, you know.
It is drama.
It is, but
I mean, part of it has to do with like our entire lives now. Most of our lives have been spent just talking shit online. And then now it's just
the
like
aggression, once the aggression hits the streets, it gets out of control.
Well, people have less human interactions now than they do online interactions. So if all you're seeing is constantly people going ham on each other, like dunking on each other in the most elaborate, ridiculous ways, tweeting, you know. This
kid, man, he just, you know what it is? He came out to be a part of protecting. He wanted to be a part of something, but he found himself alone shooting motherfuckers, dude. He found it, but he was people. You know what I blame a lot of this on? I could go the whole way back, and I'm going to be honest, dude. We've talked about this alone, but like, people are going to disagree with this, but like, violent video games are bad for children, and I'm done trying to pretend. Well, studies show that video games where you're shooting people dead, video games where you have to go inside of an airport and massacre everyone, and these video games were like, but studies show. I'm like, fuck your studies, dude. No. There's no way this doesn't have an affinity for violence. There's no way this is positive. This is bad. Yeah, it's bad because this kid probably was like, yeah, I was born for this. This is necessary. This is what good Americans do. They shoot people with semi-automatic battery. Dude, this is what I'm saying. It's all this like nobilized violence
for sure
that we give to kids, and we're like, hey, look at this. Hey, these men are heroes. Yeah. And then, I mean, I'm saying it goes the whole way back, but I'm saying it's going the whole way back as like we say we like don't like guns, but then we're like every fucking movie in the theater is just like Dolph Lundgren just mowing motherfuckers down.
Dude, can you imagine watching a show now where there's not any kind of violence whatsoever?
Yeah, exactly.
So what show is that?
Yeah.
New Girl? Like, I don't know.
See, but I'm like a peaceful guy, and I'm tired of like blood. If I'm going to watch bloodshed, I'm going to watch blood typo pouring on the streets. I'm going to watch Al Jazeera News. I'm not going to watch like
you're going to watch Live
Die
Leak.
Hard.
You're getting on Live Leak.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. yeah, I don't know, man. I think the very least is we can be like, hey, jury's out on the effect of like these video games, because I don't know, it's the same as music. People said the same thing once like music started not being fucking Roy Orbison, when people started putting a little edge on it. People had a problem with like Led Zeppelin, and then fast forward to the 80s NWA, fast forward to the 90s Eminem. You know what I mean?
This shit affects people, dude.
No, it for sure affects people. I mean, I don't know how you could make the case that it doesn't. way too many 16-year-olds with Punisher stickers on their trucks.
Yeah.
All right? Way too much. Way too many kids with a sledgehammer in the back just waiting to fuck shit up because they live. And then also, it's like these kids are like, they live in such isolated towns where they don't interact with anyone who doesn't look like them, think like them, and act like them. So then it's just like, I mean, I don't know, dude. We're broken at the fault line, man. Like it's gonna take so. The thing that's kind of crazy about right now is like, it's like we were talking about the protests earlier this week, and we're like, is it shitty that we've like lost steam on the protests? Because you were protesting, like there were, when that shit was going down here and there was actual riots going on, it was so huge, and then it seems like across the country is it losing steam? That's the question right now. Is the movement losing steam? How long can it maintain momentum, and how do you maintain that momentum? I don't know. I mean,
Dude, you know what? All right, so I leave it on big basketball head, right? I'm not wearing a basketball t-shirt today, but I love the game, and here's my thing. Basketball, people think like, oh, you must miss basketball when they did the very, very brief, sit out.
Yeah, so this week, in case you are truly on Infowars.com only, the NBA didn't play today. Started with the Lakers.
3 days.
Or no, started with the Bucks.
Yeah, they postponed 3 games in solidarity with Wisconsin. Started with the Bucks, who are from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But dude, the pressure you feel from society, and also this is okay. Culture, basketball isn't basketball. Any person that's like, play basketball, shut up and dribble. Anyone that thinks that, it's like, dude, basketball isn't basketball. Do you think I like watching basketball?
No, you like watching personalities.
I do.
You like people. You
I like
individuals.
drama.
No one's out here like really freaking out over a screen pass.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Nobody cares about your follow through.
Yeah,
man.
you're fucking Uncle Brian who says shut up and play. Like, okay, he doesn't even watch the NBA.
No.
So it's like, I don't know, man. I just am so. It's great to see it. It was cool to see. I wish they would have boycotted longer, to be honest.
Honestly, I
wish they would have ended the season.
IMO, as a huge basketball fan, I'm not going to say what anyone should have done.
Yeah.
But what I will say.
What I wanted them to do.
What I would have liked to see. And this is as a basketball fan, man. This is as a basketball fan that loves the drama and is still excited about it continuing, because I just like to watch basketball because it makes me forget that I low-key hate my life. To be honest, I kind of hate my life.
Yeah, that's why I watch baseball, because I also kind of hate my life.
Exactly.
And I'm like, listen, most of the time I can watch a game without the announcer saying a slur. And then, sometimes it happens. But yeah, and you're at this, and I get what you're saying. As someone who like needs it that
They
bad.
should have quit the fucking season.
They should have. But here,
I meant to say, I wish they would have quit the season.
Yeah.
I meant to say that.
Who fucking cares, dude? When you sit down here, I think there's like 4 people over here like pointing a gun at us. Like,
no, I know.
You don't think
I'm
they
on
should?
wax here, man. I'm just trying to say how I feel, and I feel like for me, I feel like the move would have been. I think the move would have been like shut the club down, dude, because it's like it should have been. It should have been, because basketball is our escape. It's our escapism. Everyone has their own. It can be the Kardashians or whatever, but it's like, hey, this is culture, and culture doesn't need basketball right now. And that was...
Dude, you can't have sports and entertainment. Sports and entertainment are the reward of a functioning society.
Yes.
And we don't have one.
That's what it is.
That's kind of the point I was trying to say. I was like, how can we talk about anything else until this election? And dude, here's the thing. It is no dessert. We didn't eat our peas. We haven't eaten our peas. We need to answer these. We need to like start answering these questions.
Yes.
It's like it's pushed. It's just to the limit. We're at a boiling point, and like if you don't even see that, like that's the kind of the point I was making. If we're trying to have a conversation about this, you're not even bringing it up. If you're trying to be like, well, cops' jobs are tough. We can't have a conversation, dude. We can't. You're not like. How can you not see that this time is different? It's fucking crazy looking back. Looking back at like 4 years ago, isn't it crazy how it's like completely? It happens every 4 years. I mean, think about 4 years ago. Kaepernick was kneeling. it was a debate, as if it was a fucking huge deal, as if it was people. You had to listen to people tell you, like, well, you know, it doesn't stand for the flag, man. You can't do that to the flag, you know. And then at the same time, you know, Michael Brown was getting shot. Like Eric Gardner in New York was getting shot. All the same things were happening.
Right.
And it's like 4 years ago, we like to think we were so evolved then. And it just proves that like any given moment, you think that you're in such an evolved society that is like, oh, we've never been more woke than this. It's like, it takes time, dude. It takes time, and it's disappointing. Because all of these things happened 4 years ago, and yet you didn't see full-on nationwide protests the way that we did this year.
Yeah.
You know, part of that obviously is because there's a pandemic and people are cooped up at home and their brains are fried. And we're also heading into like the most contested election in 100 years. That is going to completely stir the pot of public trust. People are just going to pick a side, and no matter how it goes down, they're going to lose faith in the voting system. So,
well, yeah, and I do think I mean this is going to sound like woke PC, like can't we all just get along? But I really do feel like there is an inclination, myself included, whereas we're like if I were just like sometimes I just like, try to talk to my father, dude. Like I try to talk to him and try to be like, hey, let's find things that we can agree on.
Yeah,
and
that
focus
is for sure.
Just like
that's how you have to be.
Equality. Let's start at
dude,
equality.
I know,
if
but
my
like,
dad's like, no, things should be different for different groups. I'd be like, oh, Dad, you know. But he's not like that.
No,
you know?
of course not. You know, dude, my dad's the same way. You know, these boomers like to think they're woke, and then they're, you know, saying things like, you know, I support their right to protest, and then part of me wants to be like, well, it doesn't even matter that you support them, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off, you know? Like,
if that's like, if you're, well, it's
you're
the
immediately
people.
being like, well, I have to let them know that I approve of what they're doing.
Yeah, that's another.
Don't need it. Don't need your approval.
That's myself included. That's a white move, is to be
For
like,
sure.
Hey, you're all right with me. I approve of
They're
you.
good in my book.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
As
well,
if they were like, yeah.
no one's reading. Yeah.
The white dude said I'm all right.
Yeah, dude, that one's not racist.
That cis
To
white
me,
male right there, he gave me the stamp of approval.
gave me the thumbs up to be a citizen.
Yeah.
To be a human being.
I can
and
die.
get rights like everyone else. He gave
Right.
me the green light. Thank
Right.
God. Yeah,
Because it was a question in his mind at one point in time.
for sure.
You know?
Dude, it's and some people, and you know the flip side of that too is you see people on like the left or like I shouldn't say people on the left, like young millennials, you know, the shock collars on social media, you know, the people deciphering your fucking feed of whatever they give you. Some of them, like, you hear them talking like, you know, like there's a big drama that came out today of like Adele. You probably haven't seen it, but if you Google Adele right now, Adele's under fire because for cultural appropriation.
Of what?
I guess she went to some kind of like Jamaican festival in England, I guess, wherever she's at. Here, I'm going to Google it.
Just say what you know. We don't need to know.
You know,
Like,
I mean, I don't have to say anything more.
What do
she's
you know?
being accused of cultural appropriation.
Well, she hung out at a reggae fest?
Well, she dressed in a certain way that people were upset with. Here we go. So what do you think? Now, the image is behind us.
Okay.
The image is behind us.
Oh, I did see this.
And people are calling
All I
her
can
out.
see is like, damn, she looks good, dude.
She's hot, dude.
Holy smokes,
She's
dude.
fucking hot. And
I don't
but
even...
the point I'm making
Dude,
is like...
what? I mean, to me,
the point I'm making is like, if this is truly the top of your radar right now in terms of like, you need to make a stand on this, you need to reevaluate your priorities.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you're not
facts,
checked in, and
facts.
you're pushing so over the line that you're missing the actual heart of the issue.
And you're not enjoying those big ass hangers either.
No,
and
you're
that's
not.
the real
You don't
tragedy,
enjoy life.
dude. You got some big old melons and you got to check them out and just be grateful.
Yeah, isn't that the take now? It's like, guys, Adele, like if I could get all the Adele fighters in a room, like, you know, you think she's appropriating, you think she's totally fine. Let's
focus on her tits.
How good are her fucking tits, dude? Come on, guys. Let's come together.
Let's find
Men
out.
and women. I know women you think she's hot.
Dude, she looks great in that photo. Let's all just come together and admire how great Adele looks in that photo.
Let's all go home and jerk off to this photo together.
Right.
And we'll text each other what it felt like. doing this as a group. I'm just saying, dude. I see people. You see this, and first of all, also I'm on a cognizant, calculated effort to stop shit like this from crossing into my eyes every day. I'm really trying to unfollow some shit and not be on Twitter so much, man.
Not catch any bullshit.
I can't, dude. I can't. I'm not saying that as that's the funny thing is you say oh, I want to get off Twitter, and people well, you're going to be uninformed. I'm whoa, we're so off base. People actually think that if you're not on Twitter, reading, that you're not informed. People judge your knowledge of the zeitgeist on whether or not you're on Twitter. Can you imagine thinking that?
It's dude, but the thing, I was talking to my brother about this today. So he talks to a lot of people because I feel like at this point, everyone, it's the fact that everyone has an opinion in the internet has affected us in a way where we're just people, I got to give people my opinion today because they're counting on it. Which isn't true. Know. But it's funny because he talks to people that are in remote areas, people that live on farms and stuff, and literally subsistence farm, agrarian lifestyles, right?
Yeah.
There's people he knows, he's a physical therapist. So he does house calls. So he'll go to houses. People don't even have a television, dude.
I know.
So he'll go to these people and they will be aware of kind of cultural things, and they will tell him, they're yeah, that's we heard about that. And the thought of them having a take on it, they're aware enough that they're why I shouldn't have a take on it. It doesn't affect me. I have this I talk to 6 people a week.
Yeah, they're oh no, I saw something about that Jacob Blake, but I don't know. There's a new episode of Guy's Grocery Games, so.
But that's fine for them. But there's not even a new episode.
It's fine for them, but maybe
it's okay because they're hey,
their
are
vote
people
counts just as much as yours, bro.
You think they're? Oh, that's a good point. You think they're? I don't think they're vote. I think they're just hey, I'm worrying. But I actually think it's admirable to not involve yourself where you have no skin in the game and it has no effect on you, and for you to just sidestep it and be I'm gonna let the people who it affects really make the call.
Nobody thinks like that. Nobody thinks like that. The people who watch Guys Grocery Games 9 hours a day and live in bullshit West Virginia,
but these people
and
don't
have never
TV.
seen a non-white person. It's crazy to me that I don't know, man. I don't feel like you can't. Everyone can't vote, dude. Everybody can't vote. You can't do it.
We're
not responsible enough. I think we'd be surprised. Can you imagine if entertain a scenario where we had to take a test? I probably wouldn't pass it. I don't know.
I think you should have to. This is it's funny because people
this is taboo as fuck.
It is.
The idea of everyone doesn't get a vote, but fuck you. All right, honestly.
I think if you collect welfare, you should be implicitly able to vote because you're the most affected. And
of
then
course.
I think other than that, you should have to take a SAT test. That's all history, all political, all economic type stuff, and then you can. But if you're on welfare, I feel
it's we've entered this situation.
Before I want to get if you're on welfare, you should implicitly get a vote because it's most affecting your life. And I think we want to live in a society where the have-nots have as much to say, because I think that's very important.
Well, of course, but the reality is this shit's set up so that doesn't happen. I think it's a sham. I think elections are a sham anyway. Dude, here's the thing. We said this last week, and I listened to it back, and I felt guilty saying voting doesn't matter, because I guess the point I was trying to make is it's obviously here's the thing. It obviously does matter. We can't. I've always been a person who was it's two rich white dudes. What's the fucking difference? In reality, I still believe that there's people with money and people without, and all of these other lines drawn are complete horse shit meant to lead you in a direction to support one way or another. You know what I mean? But the reality is we're at this point now. It's so glaring that listen, if say we will, if DJT gets another one, the economy's going to be fucked. It's going to be objectively fucked. And it's not going to be fucked because like people like that say, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing, he's going to let it. No, it's not that. It's just indifference. It's like not actually picking a stance. I mean, that's why we're so fucked on coronavirus, is because we didn't actually pick a road to go down.
I agree. And I also,
we should have either shut the fuck down, which obviously would have never happened, or just everyone been like, no, we're prioritizing the economy, and it is what it is. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but because we didn't pick a side, now this is just going to keep going on and on.
Pussyfoot.
We're just pussyfooting around it, and that's the reason why this vote matters.
I got a diatribe to go on now.
Get it?
So I agree, and for me, I think Fauci, I think President Trump, I think the CDC, all should be. It should, like when they say I work for the CDC, should be a little bit ashamed because they've properly fucked this up.
Well, you can't blame the CDC as much because in reality, they're just kind of like guidance. Like they don't have any more power than to just give guidance.
But that's what I'm saying. The guidance has been so atrocious.
It has been atrocious.
Has been so badly misinformed.
But
and like,
let me chime in for just a second before you keep going. Like the argument you can make against that is the reason it's been so fucked up is because like they know what they need to say. They're not stupid. They're the people who actually know how this works. They know the right path, but they can't just say that. Like everything they say is filtered through the powers above them. So this whole thing. Did you see this week that like there were the people were upset that these new CDC guidelines said like you don't need a coronavirus test if you don't have symptoms. The CDC came out and said that, and people were like, "What the fuck is this? Doesn't make any sense. This is a complete reversal of what you said." And then Fauci was like, "Yeah, they decided on that when I was under anesthesia in a surgery." And then you're like, "Oh, this is all like completely manipulated."
This is exactly what I'm saying, though. It's like the fact of the matter is any sort of like CDC guideline or anything from Fauci, anything they say, they've gone back and forth. They've rolled back everything they've ever said. Like,
I know.
Don't wear a mask. It doesn't matter. If you don't have a proper mask, it doesn't matter. Wear a mask all the time, which I'm like, I'm fine with, but and then like, oh, you can't catch us. Oh, it turns out you can catch us. I'm like, listen, you don't know shit about fuck.
But here's the thing.
Say stay home.
But dude, they can't do that though because like we cannot handle that. Our nation cannot handle the top brass being like, we don't know.
Well, then just say, because it's this like definitive, like, I know the answer. The answer is this. Next week, okay, the answer is something completely different than I said. So for me, it's like, hey, just say you don't really know what's going on. Because I'm almost at the point where it's like a typical American can collect enough information based on their own anecdotal experience walking around about this virus. Like, you have your own information.
In fact, that's really like the only truth
I'm hot.
No, you gotta be hot because it's like totally fucked, man. Like, that's the whole thing I'm saying is like, you hear people now who are like, I hear people in my actual life, family and friends who are like, well, we're on phase 4 now, so we're allowed to. You're a baby. Like you can't, you have to be told. Like there's nothing. It is so simple. No one knows how to fix it. And if you're in closed environments with a bunch of people, you're going to keep spreading it.
Yeah.
That's all that there is to be known about it. Clearly something has developed in the sense that restaurants know they're like, we can't really dine inside. Can't do it. You got to be outside. Clearly they know something you don't. Like, you can take your cues on the truth from like the way the general actual industries are responding to it. If you're actually listening to individual people at the top tell you what's right or wrong, like, you're a child. You need to be led around. You got to go out there and see. I can see with my own 2 eyes, just by existing here in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
That you're like, okay, you can't be inside with a bunch of people. You can. That's really it.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and it kind of all goes back to, and this is a lot of stuff we do. A lot of I'm gonna go real. I'm gonna peel this skin back real far.
Peel it.
So I think it's
reveal the Terminator, bro.
A lot of times we try to preemptively stop things, right? So I respect it, but a lot of times there are laws in place that protect you from committing the real law you're not supposed to.
Yes.
You know? It's like, don't throw sand at the beach. I'm going to bring it to like, as a lifeguard, it's like, don't throw sand at the beach. Like, well, in some cases you should throw sand. Like, in reality, it's like, don't throw sand in someone's eye. Because it'll blind them, you know?
Yeah.
That's really what it is. But we say, so we have all this preemptive stuff where it's like, don't do this, don't do that, because it could potentially lead to another thing. So, but I think in reality, and I think this is just like causation, like you need the chain of causation. It's like a kid, you kind of let the kid stick his finger into the electric socket. So he's like, God damn, that fucking sucked.
That sucks.
I'm not going to do that again.
No.
Otherwise, I think it takes...
People only learn by experience.
They really do.
I don't care what you say. That's how it is.
I think it's since humanity has began. I think everyone's incredulous of this because we
Fire's
haven't
hot.
let them
Glass
stick their
is
finger in the
sharp.
goddamn socket, dude.
Water will drown you. Yeah, man. It is. It's a shame to see, honestly. It's a shame to see how people can't just pull it together and actually. It's a shame how, like...
That's why I think they should have been like, hey, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want.
Fuck each other.
See if I give a shit.
Yeah. The government's like, here's the deal. You guys are all going to get it if you just keep fucking around. What are we going to do? We're going to tell you that this Pep Boys can't open? No. We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
We didn't pick a lane. I don't know.
not.
I don't know. No one knows what the right lane to go down was.
Even
no
if
one
someone-
does right now.
If someone were
We
to
won't
do...
know for a while.
Okay, so I told you I'm pro let the snake bite us. But if the president or Fauci were to be like, stay home, don't leave, we're gonna have martial law, we're gonna have someone to bring you packed lunches in a tank, that's what we're gonna do, I would have been like, respect for taking a stand and following through with you plan that
That's
you
it.
thought was the right idea.
Yeah.
If you say that, I'm like, daddy's home. But if you're like, what do I gotta say to maintain?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, dude,
it's also,
be daddy, dude.
Yeah, and it's also like this new part of like society where everyone has to every decision has to be like, well, we have to please everybody. You can't please everybody. You're not. That's the whole problem. This whole process has been like, how do we please everybody? We can't shut everything down, which they know.
Fuck a
if
diplomat.
Everything shut. If it was martial law for 2 weeks, which that's the other thing, dude. Is that worth relinquishing that right? To especially this fucking dude, that's a big transfer of power.
Daddy's home, dude. This is where we are throughout society.
Do you think that if there was a more stable,
there's no self-run governments, dude.
Do you think that if there was a more stable president, like let's say, not even just Hillary, I'm not even saying like if Hillary had won. I'm saying, do you think if it was any other president, we would have been more willing to been like, okay, we'll take the advice, we'll shut it the fuck down? Or do you think people are like, I would never allow martial law right now because I'd be like, dude, I know who's at the top. We can't let this dude have that kind of power.
I think Mitt Romney could have pulled it off.
You think old Mitt? Boy.
Isn't it funny how imagine if Mitt was president. It's funny how we saw Mitt Romney and we're like, what a piece of shit.
I know. We looked at Mitt Romney and we're like, wow, this guy's a fucking demon.
Binder of women.
Yeah.
If you look back at what he said, you're like, he had a it wasn't a great thing to say,
No.
but in comparison, you're like,
Refresh people.
I went to a number of women's groups and said, can you help us find folks? And they brought us whole binders full of women.
He should have just been like, yeah, I got a whole book full of chicks.
yeah, he
I know
should've just-
bitches.
yeah.
I know chicks. And he's like, he's on CNN. He's like, listen, I know chicks. All right.
Yeah, there was something else he did where he was just basically like, he was like tiptoeing around saying poor people. And he's like, well, you know,
course. Well, here
10% that don't.
Yeah. He's like, listen, I'm not saying the 80% of the country are rats. And I don't know how we rectify that.
And when he tried,
You're rats.
he tried to be
You're-
like, I'm not saying the rats, but one might call, not me, might call them a rat.
A rat. A scoundrel.
I would never.
I would not do that. He was just a lamb to the slaughter, dude. He was never gonna. The fact that we even thought there was a debate as to if Obama would lose to him is preposterous.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. You got to throw. If you're the Repub Party, I guess you just can't run someone against your incumbent president.
You can't. You have to save the good ones for the next one. But they weren't really thinking that. They didn't know that Trump was going to run. They knew. That's how it is, dude. Running against an incumbent, you pick you don't want to give your best one away. That's how it is. You know what I mean?
It's a burner.
Yeah, it's a burner. You know it's a high risk. And the other thing too is when the economy's fucked this bad, it's pretty rare for an incumbent to come back. That's the one thing if you really look at American history through and through. If the economy is totally fucked at the time of an election, it's not going to go back to the incumbent. We've been proved wrong before, but by and large. Who the fuck knows, man?
Biden's a burner.
Biden is,
he's a burner. He's a burner that stands a chance. John Kerry was a burner.
He's a figurehead. I mean, that's whatever all of
Bob
them are.
Dole, burner.
But the Democratic Party's let's just fucking get this guy in there.
Yeah.
He's associated with Obama. That's
Right.
another rare case. People forget that he was vice president. We still keep thinking of him as this dude, but he's got a footprint at the very least. You know what I'm saying? He was there. So obviously that's a big thing. Think about when your party's really running someone fresh out of the gate, like Obama, who nobody knew that dude, you know? But then they run him out of the gate. It's a big risk. In that case, it paid off.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I don't know.
You're right.
All I know is that if Tom Steyer is pro mask, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I gotta believe that dude. I would love to see what that dude's up to nowadays.
Sty guy?
Sty guy.
He's partying with Mystical, dude. You remember that?
What? No.
Yeah, dude.
Was that corny video of him dancing?
Back that ass up, dude.
Dude, who allowed that? Not that he had a chance.
I think I'd be a good president.
You think so?
I do.
You don't know the system though, bro. You don't know how. Someone's gonna have to brief you on how to shake these hands, how to kiss those babies, how to hand that envelope to this guy who's I'm gonna meet you in the hallway.
No, I don't think that's the part. The hard time I would have is with the job. Getting the job, I think I could get easily.
You think so?
I'm a zaddy, dude. I'll tell you what's up. I'll tell you how to live. That's what people want. That's what they want, dude. They want boundaries. They
do and they don't. They do and they don't. What's that guy's name from back in the 90s? He just died. He ran for president, third party. God damn it.
Ross Perot?
Ross Perot. He was telling people
was
how
it really
it was.
Ross Perot?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so
he was telling people how it was, and isn't that funny how people he was the one third party candidate who almost had a chance. That's how we remember.
Is that how he's remembered?
That's how he's remembered.
Oh man. Dude, I'm third party all the way, dude. I won't be a part of your system. I'm part of the revolution, and y'all the problem, not me. And I'm tired of people shaming me. I'm tired of people shaming me for doing the virtuous thing and being the sacrificial lamb, and everybody else following the status quo. I'm done with it. It's not my fault that y'all voted for rapists.
Yeah. You're not wrong. You are wrong a little bit. It's a fun. Apathy is a reflection of privilege, though. That's one thing you got to remember. Some people can't afford to be apathetic. That's the flip side of that.
Right.
And I say that because I've been apathetic. I've been the person who's just I'm not fucking doing this.
I'm speaking very passionately, but I agree with you. I'm pretty apathetic, and I have to
it's
conjure
hard, dude.
emotion.
It's hard to believe that voting matters when people who have actual emotional connection to beat Bobby Flay have just as much of a say in the government as you. That's hard. That's a tough pill to swallow.
It is.
It's an elitist thing that I'll say because I don't give a fuck. But some of you don't want people to know that you think that way because your coworkers watch Beat Bobby Flay. Yeah. But on the inside, you know that they shouldn't be allowed to run the country. And the second thing, we can't allow, it's just... Do you make it... that's the whole thing, though, is about voter... This is the whole thing about, should everyone be allowed to vote? Is because voter suppression is a real thing. And black people have had their voting rights taken away from them for so fucking long. We should just... What if we just... Let's just let black people vote.
That's what I'm saying, though. And I think it's a classism thing where it's if you're privileged enough where whoever the president is or whatever policies are made... I
don't believe in my people to do the right thing.
This is... Okay. What I'm saying is I think... What if the people that are most affected... The people that are most effective... affected, should be given the right to vote, but anyone else who's really not affected by policy that much, or whose lifestyle isn't affected by policy, or who's, whether they eat, whether they suffer, whether they're pulled over, whether they're targeted, whether it doesn't matter to them, you should really have to earn your right to vote, because for the lesser than, it's for them, it's like, hey, this actually matters, and this isn't just some sort of thing I want to talk about as politics. It's like,
it's just not an avenue for me to have a personality once every 4 years.
Exactly.
The people who have never had an actual functioning thought, and then every 4 years are all of a sudden telling you about campaigning for like Clinton, Kane, 20, like, come on, shut up, dude. And
Kane.
Poor Kane. No, that dude was so weird. They're all so regrettable and weird. John Edwards cheated on his wife when she had cancer. The Democratic VPs have been scumbags a lot of the time.
Yeah. Dick Cheney was
Dick Cheney
man.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. What if we went on this whole thing and we're like, listen, we need President Dick Cheney. We need Laura Cheney, his daughter. What's her name? Dude, we need her to come in.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about Daddy Dick is that at the very least, I mean, God, that movie Vice, what an incredible movie. But it just showed so well how that dude was like, dude, at the end of the day, love me or hate me, I'm going to do what I think is the best move. And he's like, I'm sticking to it. If that means we're putting blood on the sand out there, running fucking, we have electricians working for Halliburton in Iraq who have M16s. So be it. But Daddy Dick was just like, listen, this is what works for my best interest.
Right.
And here's what I think is the right thing to do. And we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And if you got a problem with it, you could suck my dick. Because I'm dad.
Don't say you're sorry.
Yeah.
Cardinal rule.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. And then also the problem though is that people think that like the other thing about this though is that like I think voting in this election is important. I mean, that's just like a fucking throwaway thought that like has no value. But you also have to not be so short-sighted to realize that like voting isn't going to fix these problems.
No,
it's not. It's gonna. We have to change our way of thinking. We have to change the way we interact with each other. There's someone referred. I saw an interview and someone referred to this as a cold civil war, and that was like the best way of putting it.
Yeah,
like that's what we're in. We're in a cold civil war. It's not like bloodshed. People are like, we're gonna have a civil war. Like, no, dude, we're not. That's not what's gonna happen. Nobody gives a shit about that. Nobody cares about anything enough to actually give blood for it. You know what I mean? So like the issue is though that like the problem is there's an actual huge rift that has just never been addressed, and like. You can vote for it all you want, but 4 years down the line, there's still going to be motherfuckers shooting Jacob Blake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These like problems with the police are never going to get fixed unless something is done at the federal level. And that's like a leftist stance. I get that. But like, it's never going to get fixed. Like these individual departments, like nobody holds them accountable. They just do what the fuck they do because they're in that community. And it's a small ass. Kenosha's not a big place.
No.
Nobody's controlling that from the outside. So they just let it. It's almost like every individual police department has to go through like a complete series of revolution to not be racist and prejudice.
No, it's a lot of work to do.
So you just got to keep on trucking, dude.
Yeah.
Bro.
Put yourself
Speaking of government employees, can I lighten things up a little bit?
But they're your problems to solve. An hour, like a minute in production is an hour in post,
That's a good point. That's a good point. It did take a minute to be like, there were some dicey waters. I was like,
you were letting
I should have.
You were letting a word fly in particular the other day, and I was like, well, it's him to censor it.
Yeah, well, I edit the podcast. People don't know this. I edit the full episode, and Joey's the.
I'm the clip.
He's the clip lord, and so he's the manager. He's the.
I definitely have the easy job.
Listen, I just have to go watch my fat body say horrific things for an hour, then
That's why we do this.
Let me talk to you about something.
Okay.
These census employees need to back the fuck up, okay? These census employees are out running wild, and they have too many rights,
Talk
dude.
to me. What?
Here's the thing. So we got... Okay, I'm going to speak lowly because we're in the building, but there's 2 people in this building who have not done their census. And here's the thing. If you haven't done your census right now, they're coming for you.
Oh,
they're
yeah. They'll
stepping
get
it
you.
the
They'll get
fuck
you.
up.
They'll get you.
Motherfuckers have been
They don't
coming
go
to
away.
our place
Yeah.
every single day. Here's the thing. This is some kind of specific shit, but I have a main door that opens into, 2 doors on the base, go up the stairs, 2 more doors up there.
Yeah.
And it's a 4-unit building, but there's an outside door, right? So people just can't come to our building and knock on like unit 3. You know what
they
I'm
knock
saying?
on everybody's door.
They knock on everybody's door.
Yeah.
So anyway, these census bitches have been coming out here like every goddamn day. And then Saturday, my fucking doorbell is ringing at 8:30 in the morning. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like me. So I'm like, there's some fucking crazy people out like in this neighborhood lately. God knows what. The city's overrun. It's Blade Runner. Like I'm like, okay. So I go to the front door and it's the census worker. I'm like, hey, so I'm just trying to talk to unit 3. Do you know if there's a person living there? And I was like, whoa. You ain't gonna catch me. You're gonna put me in a corner like this, all right? I don't fuck with this. So I'm like, okay.
What do you mean, put you in a corner?
Here's the bottom line. We go back and forth, and she's like, can I just come in and go up to number 3 and just knock on their door? We just need them to fill out the census form. Which anyone who's done the census thing, it takes 5 minutes. It's just like, who are you? How many genders do you have?
You white?
Like, yeah, that's mine. You white? All right.
You white.
You're white. Charles.
Are you English?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put English.
White
people don't know what we are.
We're not anything.
She asked me, she's
dude.
like, "Are you German?" And I was like, "I don't know."
Oh, they came to your house?
Yeah, dude, they come to everywhere. It's the census.
You didn't fill it out.
What do you mean?
You fucking fill it out online and then they don't come to find you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. That's what we're talking about. They come
Really?
to your place if you don't do your fucking...
Well, that was the funny thing because she came to mine. One guy came to me and I'm like, I just didn't trust him. I was just like, he was like, I don't know.
Dude, the government is sending some sketchy people to be census
Well, then
employees.
the woman that came yesterday, she was like, hey, look, man, we're gonna one way or another, we're doing this thing. Like they're just gonna keep sending people, and I was like, respect.
No.
I was like, and then I did it. She
They
was
have
like,
an army.
yeah. She was like, but I like that she leveled with me. She's like, hey, man, like. Somebody's gonna be here every day until you answer. You tell me if you're white and English.
Dude, that's exactly what I'm saying is because this lady came and she was ringing my doorbell. She's like, can I come in the building? I just need to go up there. And I was like,
let her in.
No.
Let her
No.
in.
I said no. I was like, no, I'm not letting her in the building. She's like, oh.
Show her the badge and let her in.
No. I'm like, I'm not letting someone in the building. I don't know. Listen, dude. None of my business. There's 2 people in the building who haven't done their census. None of my business. It could be just because they haven't paid attention, or it could be for a specific reason. I ain't no narc, so fuck no. You're not coming in the building.
Yeah.
You know what, dude? If you got beef and you need to find these people, that's when you get the police, all right? And that's their fucking job. It's not mine. It's not mine. It's just like that time I was getting ice cream and the guy asked me to be at the very end and tell people that they weren't allowed to join the line because I was the last one. I'm not going to be your fucking cop, all right?
Yeah.
Never going to happen. So I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I can't let anyone in the building. And she's like, listen, I get it, man, but like, we're just going to come back here every day. And I was like, I get that, but don't ring my doorbell. And they're like, well, their door number 3, their doorbell doesn't work. I'm like, what? That sucks. It sounds like you guys have some problem solving you have to do, of which I will not be a part of. And then guess what? So then I go back into my apartment and then like I'm going back to bed because it's 8:30 on a Saturday. And then she rings the doorbell again. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? So I like go out there and she's like, hey, so I just thought it's like you can actually be a proxy vote for them. So like what I basically need you to tell me is like, can you tell me
a bridge too far. A bridge too far.
She's like, can you tell me who's living there and like what race they are? I was like, no. I'm like,
no. That's. I swear to God. You should have told her like, that's not the next move. You botched that.
Yeah. She's like, what race are they? I'm like, Yeah, some people would
Brown.
Yeah, dude. Oh, God damn. I can't believe she asked me that. And I was like, no, man, I'm not gonna delineate someone's race for you. And she was that desperate. They must be on commissions or something, dude. They must be getting like Applebee's gift cards if they get a certain number of people on their computer, because she was very persistent. And I was like, dude, I'm sorry. I can't help you. If you need to get this, you got to do your own thing.
That's how my lady was. She was, but I loved her though, because like the first guy that came through, I was like, oh, sorry, I'm sick. I can't really do it. And he's like, okay, we're going to be here. I was like, yeah, you can come through tomorrow. And I'm like, hopefully he didn't show up. Then a couple weeks later, this lady shows up. But I loved her just being like, hey, this is going to keep happening.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
they
okay,
know that, because they all say that, because
Right.
they know that that's the easiest way. It's like,
but it took like 5 minutes. I was like, okay. And I'm like, hey, sorry, I didn't. Sorry.
yeah, here's the bottom line. It literally took me 3 minutes, I think, online.
Yeah.
Who are you? What's your name? What's your race? How many people live here? Do you have a job? Are you Native American?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, you're good. And then they just go, and they take their little iPad and they go. But dude, they have an army of people. The Census army, dude.
It's a job, dude.
I know it is,
Bureau.
but it's crazy to see like how you can see them out there. You can tell because they're in kind of plain clothes. They got some kind of like little knapsack,
A little
type
badge,
thing.
yeah.
Little badge, and you're just like, are you a cop? That's why this is all so fucked up. So they're not really cops. They can't really do anything. They're essentially like a meter maid who's, you know, with a little quarter dispenser or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they don't have any real power. So people are just being like, everybody in this day and age kind of likes to piss on people in power a little bit. Just be like, no, I'm gonna fuck with you. Come back later.
Come back with a gun.
I'm not feeling.
Then
Yeah.
we'll talk.
Come back with a gun and a warrant. Let's fucking go, dude.
Yeah.
Let's step
That's
this
what,
shit
you can't
up.
tell me what to do.
Man, this neighborhood's been kind of freaky lately. I was gonna tell you, dude. I saw the scariest guy in my whole life. Like there's this dude. I was walking to the dog park and I saw this guy who basically he looked like Stone Cold Steve Austin if he was on like meth, you know?
So a little skinny, but like still pretty
Skinny,
muscular.
Yeah, 6'5" white dude,
All
like
right.
muscular as fuck. But anyway, he just had those crazy eyes, dude. He's just kind of like walk. You see people walking in the street like
Little glaze.
just like
little
this,
glaze and
he's just
over-aware.
rocking a
Yeah.
straight, solid purple Lakers shirt. No like specifics, just a purple shirt. It says the Lakers logo right in the middle, and then he's
Not
just
even
like,
game day. Not game day.
No, he's just like walking around like. You ever see these guys who are just like paranoid at the world? Like,
Yeah.
no, but it's not necessarily like they're on drugs, but they're
Vigilant.
on the street, dude.
Vigilant.
They got problems to
Yeah.
solve like quickly. And I see this guy, and there's a big construction site across the street that I'm sure you've seen. But this guy, he's just like starts walking past like me and my girlfriend, and this guy's terrifying. We're like, oh, let's not fuck with this guy. He passes us, and he like walks up this construction site, and he like notices it, and then he just starts shaking the fence like in front of it, and he like looks over, and he's like trying to rip it open so
Yeah.
he can just go in the construction site.
Get some copper, dude.
Dude, this construction site on that corner right there that goes
Yeah.
up to Sunset, dude, they have security there 24/7. There are people monitoring the building at all times.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't give a fuck. He's just shaking he breaks open the thing and starts kind of like getting in there. I'm like, dude, sometimes I'm like, am I allowed to cross the street? I know I don't have the walk signal. This
Yeah,
guy's
yeah.
just breaking into construction sites.
Okay.
Because he doesn't give a fuck, dude. And nothing happened to him. Because guess what? Like 2 days later, I'm like driving, dressed in the exact same outfit, just to do it. There he is, walking down Fountain, like looking all over the place. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, does he live around here? Is he just like some drifter who like this is his hotspot? But he's just like looking around. You see people who are just looking around for shit to fuck up, man. Just
Oh,
like
you think he was just vandalizing?
he not even just vandalizing, but he's just looking for. He's just trying to do crimes, dude. He's just like this guy's just trying to find
Asking for trouble.
He's just asking for trouble.
Yeah, I know the
And he's
type.
terrifying, and I'm like, dude, I'm locking my doors. This guy's fucking scary, man.
Oh, for sure.
This guy looks like the goddamn Punisher, and he's walking down the street patrolling the neighborhood trying to break into construction sites. I'm like, dude, he's gonna jump over my fence. He's gonna steal my grill. Like he's gonna do some shit like that.
What
Like,
would stop him?
not much.
Fence and
much bigger than me.
Fence and 24-hour
I'd
security.
have to
Then
stab that guy in the heart to put him down, dude. I'm not gonna tackle
No.
him. I'm not gonna.
you'd have to sneak up on him.
Oh my god.
You'd have to see him
Yeah.
like mid grill lifting over your fence. You're just like, this is I have about 2-second window to stab this guy.
Yeah. In the back of the
his
neck.
heart. Through his
And
rib.
I have to sever this guy's spinal cord just so I have a chance to survive. 'Cause he's
No. You're not even you're killing him so he doesn't take your grill.
Yeah. Yeah. People were like, white privilege isn't a thing. I could kill a guy for trying to steal my grill and nothing would happen to me. That's the problem, okay? Because if someone literally steps in the foot of your house, you're allowed to shoot them. Like, I get that, like, you know, you have to... Listen, I'm not trying to say that you get to defend yourself or your house, but it's kind of crazy that someone can... Just if someone steps in the threshold of my building, I could put them in the ground. I can bury them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I can't.
But you could, and it would be like,
and people would be like, "That guy's a hero."
They step foot.
That guy's a hero, dude. People in this day and age are more willing to call like the Kyle Rittenhouse a hero than like a firefighter. People are like, "Why the fuck? What takes them so long? Why are they making chili all the time?" And then they're just like, "That guy, Kyle Rittenhouse, he's an American hero."
Yeah,
boy,
take a life. That's all you gotta do.
Beat Bobby Flay. That's all you gotta do.